Now that we're back in spring, you can see that the garden is starting to get a little bit of life back. And there's nothing better when it comes to flowers than perennial plants, because they're just a case of plant once and they just keep returning and returning every year, getting bigger, looking better. We grow quite a lot of a plant called Lychnis, and it used to be really popular. You see it everywhere at one time of day. You don't see it very often now, but it is a hardy perennial plant. And when they grow, it grows like this, puts out long stems, and then on the top you'll get little white or pink flowers. We've got them in white and pink, and they're really good to put in borders because they fill it out, they flower, they die back. You collect the seeds from the top, save them, and then you can grow more and more. We always save them every year in little jars, and you can see how many seeds is in there, and that's the white Lychnis. And we also have some of the purple or pink ones. That one's called a rose campion. Really nice when it comes into flower. You see all these little pink flowers on long stems, and we always save them in these little jars. These are like your salmon spread or beef spread jars, but they're really good because they're airtight. Just give them a clean out with some boiling water, pop all your perennial seeds in there, put them under your stairs or somewhere. Free storage, can't beat it. But when I plant these, I tend to put them in these, so I can grow quite a lot at once. I mean, just this little seed tray will hold 30 plants, and it's taking up no space whatsoever. So I've just filled this up with a little bit of compost, and then I'm just going to poke it down with my finger just to firm that compost up a little bit. And for flower seeds, they're not a bad size either, really. I mean, I have grown things in the past like lobelia, and those seeds are basically like dust. They're so tiny, but these, at least you can see them. I'm just going to sow some of these seeds in here, and then I'll show you the various stages of the plant's growth, from starting off in this to actually being fully grown in the garden. Now we've pressed that in a little bit, I'm just going to top it back off, and then we'll give it a bit of water. So what I'll do with these, because we can have 30 plants in such a small tray, I can do 15 of each. So I'm going to do 15 purple, 15 white. So I've just made a little bit of an indentation in the compost, so I can just drop these seeds in. You can try to get one in, it is possible, but if your couple go in, that's better, because if one doesn't germinate, the other will. And then we'll just do the same with the white ones. Don't know if you can see those seeds. They are actually quite small. So pretty quick. And remember, you're growing perennials here, so you'll grow these once and they'll just keep coming back every year. So now I'm just going to really lightly cover these seeds, with them being small. That's why I use this colander. Gives me a lot more control over how deep these seeds are actually buried. So I'll just cover it that much, and then just run over the edge, and that'll just fill in any gaps. So we've got a really nice light covering on there. Now I'm just going to water them in, and then we'll have a look at the various stages of growth and what to do with them. And don't forget to pop a label in. So we'll just pop these to one side, just leave them in your greenhouse, they will germinate. So as these plants grow on in your trays, germinate, you'll see that it's not a very big plant at the moment, but it's already getting root bound. And that's something to avoid, because if you leave them in the same cells, when they're like this, they'll die. So you need to pop this on. And you can just do it in various stages, like these with those little ones. We then moved into bigger packs. And if we take one out, you can see that's already got quite a root system. So again, it's getting ready to be moved on. So obviously from there, we'd move it on to a pot this size, around a 9cm or something. And as they grow and start to fill out more, just keep moving them on, moving them on. Now we always pot them on, and eventually they'll end up like this in a 2 litre pot. And then we'll plant them out at that size. But you can plant them out at that size basically, because they're in a hardy perennial. They're also drought tolerant as well. You don't need to mess about with fertilisers for these. They just look after themselves basically and give you free plants every year on top. So if I take this one out and show you again, there's quite a lot of roots growing there. When you do come to plant this out in your garden, you want to just rough all this up, or you can cut some of it away. But just cut a centimetre off the bottom, not at the plant. It'll help the roots. But don't just pop it in the ground like that. Make sure you rough this up like that. I'll show you a couple that I've got in garden. We've got some that's been in there about 18 months, I believe. And we'll show you how much they've grown from the original pot that I just shown you. So we did put some in this homemade pallet planter. They've been in there all through winter, and as you can see, the leaves are looking a bit raggy. But what will happen is, it'll put out fresh growth from centre. It'll recharge itself. Then we put some in this bed. That was quite a small plant that went in, and as you can see, it's grown. There's one growing in the ground there, which is a voluntary one. Basically the plant is self-seeded, and the little seeds that's dropped have grown into a new plant. So we've got this bed, and we've got about 4 in there, and as you can see, they're quite big plants, and I think they look attractive, especially in the summer when they come up and they've got the white and purple flowers on top as well. And these plants will basically grow anywhere. As you can see on this one, it's growing perfectly fine. It's putting its stem up, which is going to get flowers on top. But that was a tiny little plant. I just pushed it in between the bricks, just to see what would happen. And it's grown perfectly fine. So it shows you what a hardy plant Lychnis is. So that's Lychnis for you. Buy a plant once, you'll get plants basically forever. Just be aware that it will self-seed and it will grow anywhere, believe me. So when the flower heads die back, you want to cut them off, save them in an envelope or somewhere, let them dry out, and then you can pop them in your free storage jars that you saved. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. And if you want to see more videos as we go through spring, summer and autumn, then please just hit that subscribe button and the notifications bell, and we'll see you on the next video. Thank you very much.